Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm so excited to be talking to you today about our net worth at 28 years old and crossing a $600,000 mark for our net worth. So we're going to jump into that, but just in case you're new here, thank you for joining. My name is Tony. On this channel, we talk all things work optionality. That could mean what we love to do, which is travel, both traveling now as well as what would travel look like when we achieve that financial independence and are truly work optional. We also love to talk to other people, interviewing other people along the journey, like we are on that journey towards work optionality. Or maybe, ideally, we get some folks that are already there. Maybe they've achieved work optionality and they're enjoying their life, whether it's at home or traveling abroad or whatever they're doing to live their best life. And then really that third pillar that we love to talk about, and I love to be transparent and vulnerable and open about, is our net worth journey. So today we're talking about our net worth journey, what we had at 28 years old. We had our first episode come out, just a couple weeks ago, talking about our net worth at 27. So if you did miss that or you haven't checked that out, you can check it out here. And we go into a lot of background around kind of how we got to age 27, the type of education we had both done, and what type of jobs we had and income we had to get to that point. So we were super blessed, and I'm grateful to have what we had at that time. So it's important to kind of get that context. Check out that video. And if you're enjoying these videos, talking about our net worth and just sharing our journey, leave a comment down below. Let us know. Just comment net worth if you're enjoying these types of videos so we can keep them coming to you. The goal would be that we're giving you an update, at 27, at 28, at 29, and 30. And for those that are new to the channel and you say, you do not look 28, I don't blame you, because I'm not. I'm 38. And we have just been diligent about tracking our net worth over the years. And I'm kind of going back in time with this playlist, this series, and giving you an update. At 27, at 28, at 29, at 30, and so on. How has our net worth grown? What were we going through at those times? And what's important to us now as we're building. So let's jump into this. Our net worth at 28, let's start with our assets. So at that time we had savings that were a mixture of our everyday banking accounts that were sitting right around $4,270. We had an emergency fund that was sitting at $20,000. And we had what is called an offset account. So kind of quick side note, important point. I was actually living in Australia at this time. This is December 2014. I'm 28 years old. I'm living and working in Australia. My wife is Australian, so she was born and raised in Sydney. We were living there, and we had an offset account, which is the kind of the third part of this net worth update, of $260,000. We had just done a cash out refi on one of our investment properties. So that's why we had a bigger chunk in this account. And the offset account, real basic, is simply an account that allowed you to hold cash liquid, but it offset the balance of your mortgage when they went to calculate interest each month. And so if you had a mortgage of $300,000 and you had $260,000 sitting in an offset, it was only like you had a $40,000 balance when they went to calculate the interest on that mortgage. So a real good way to get some benefit, but keep the cash liquid. It wasn't the same as just simply paying down those mortgages. But we had $260,000 in that account, totaling our cash from our everyday emergency funds and that offset account of $284,270. And then moving into our investments, we had some brokerage accounts of individual stocks, some mutual funds, some ETFs, totaling $78,758. We have been really aggressively saving into those over the past 12 months at the time. We had retirement accounts. I had a 401k in the US, as well as a superannuation account, which is Australia's equivalent of a 401k. And total between my accounts was $65,419. And then my wife had 401k accounts, or I should say retirement accounts, and her superannuation was totaling $70,072. So total for our investments, December 2014 at 28 years old, was $214,249. Moving into more hard assets, our property and vehicle. I know some people include their car in their net worth, some don't. I am including it here. We had a car. I valued it at $28,000 at the time, just based on Kelley Blue Book values. And then we had 2 investment properties. The first was worth $346,240. Very specific dollar amount. I appreciate that, but it was really just kind of going on the equivalent of Zillow over in Australia and getting what that estimate was for that property at that time. And then the second property, $321,509. Total are for property and vehicles for us $695,749, which means our total assets at 28 years old in December 2014 was $1,194,269, which, if we just take a second to pause, that was huge for us. A huge milestone to cross a not $1 million net worth yet, but $1 million asset mark. So something to be celebrated and acknowledged, that was a big deal for us. Moving into our liabilities, right? So starting with our assets, now coming to our liabilities, really very simple. We didn't thankfully have any sort of consumer debt, credit cards, or student loans or car loans, but we had 2 mortgages on those investment properties. The first one was $333,256, and the second property's mortgage was $221,643 total. So that brought our total liabilities to $554,899. This was actually an increase in our liabilities from 12 months prior, but important to note that we had, again, as I said earlier, done a cash out refi on one of those properties. And the sole purpose of that was that we were building up cash for a property purchase of our own as a primary residence. Right? So we'd been renting this whole time, even though we had these investment properties as rental properties. We were renting our primary residence. So we had kind of strategically done that cash out refi. So total liabilities, as I said, $554,899, meaning our net worth crossing the $600,000 mark was $639,370 at 28 years old. A year-over-year increase. So if you, again, look back at our net worth at 27 till 28, we had increased around $232,000 over those last 12 months. So you'll see a lot of videos that talk about, it's hard to get to the first 100,000 and then it goes crazy from there. This is proof is in the pudding right here that we had not saved nearly that much to grow the net worth. It was just the assets starting to grow, whether it was in the stock market or these properties growing in terms of their value. And that we started to really see the snowball effect at this time. And then it also brought our debt to asset ratio down to 46.5%. We track that just as diligently as tracking our net worth, because I think it's important that as you're growing your net worth, you might be strategically getting mortgages or going into debt. And rather than just seeing that as a bad thing, that we're kind of tracking and making sure we're not getting over leveraged along the way. So utilizing the debt in a way that we felt was worthwhile or what was working for us. So a 46.5% debt to asset ratio was a decrease of about 8.3% from the 12 months prior to that. So again, that was important for us, that not only was our net worth growing, but our debt to asset ratio was decreasing along the way. So I think, our goal with sharing this is not to get into any sort of comparison traps or to say, where were you at 28, but simply just to kind of hopefully provide some value to others along the journey, to show where we were at that time. And the goal again is to keep bringing these out and show each year how our net worth had changed and hopefully had grown at that time. So the other kind of just final point is that everything I'm mentioning here, you'll hear a lot about Australian assets, you'll hear a lot about US assets. I had taken the exchange rate each year, and I'm bringing all of our asset values into US dollar terms. So that $639,000 net worth is all in US dollar equivalents at that time. So that's it. That's where we were. We were on a grind, on a journey, and I can't wait to keep bringing you these videos. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Thanks.